volunteers, all of us put together, where we have reached so far at a national and international level, I would say. And then we'll see, what is the potential. What is the potential? And then we'll keep time for discussion. We'll keep some time for discussion also. Okay. We already had a discussion about the projects and activities, but we'll recap that in brief about all the national priorities, or what we can see as the priorities right now. Okay. So, as I see it, this volunteer meeting has these 4 major objectives. One is to connect with each other, and which I think has happened very well, and to celebrate where we are. Both of these things have happened nicely. Then to strengthen a shared understanding and vision for humane society. So that vision, we keep repeating that, that this is where we want to reach. We want to reach to a humane society through self-development, then team development, and then societal development. And then to consolidate one's self-development, take feedback, refine one's self-development. We can switch that off. To consolidate where we are. It's like every birthday you have, you review where you are and where you want to reach. So it's like we can all reflect on where we are and what is still remaining. So celebrate our progress from where we were to where we are, and then make some plan for where we want to reach. So that is the third objective. And then to identify committed and competent lead volunteers and volunteers for projects and activities by recognizing their individual capacities, interests, skills, all this, and to make further progress towards the potential. Potential as an individual and also potential as a team and then as a collective. So as I see it, these are the 4 major objectives of this, and you can see that all of these we have been discussing, we all have been discussing that, and we are progressing in that direction. This is from the conference presentation, but I thought we must look into our vision every time, so that we are placing where we want to reach. So our vision is fulfillment of individual goal, to reach to our full potential as a human being. Okay. And the result of that is continuous happiness and prosperity. Resolution of problems at their root. So when we are working for our aspiration, the problems are naturally resolved. So that is the second objective. And the third one is humane society. So as a collective, we want to reach to this humane society. This we have repeated many, many times, so I won't dwell on it. With that vision, it's a faraway goal. So what is the major step that we need to take? That is written in the mission, that we want to establish universal human values, ultimately leading to this holistic value-based education in mainstream education. Because that is where it would make the most difference. Towards our vision, that would make the most difference. And of course, we'll start with value education and gradually shifting to value-based education and then value-based living. So you're all familiar with value education. That is to include sort of this proposal with all the other subjects that we are offering, so that the student gets a overview, they get a idea about that this possibility is there for human being. So that is the starting point. And then gradually shifting to value-based education. That means all the subjects that we are teaching are value-based. So it is quite simple to associate sustainable production, sustainable building, sustainable, all the technologies that we are using, which are nature-friendly and human-friendly. That is easy to relate to. But everything else, like psychology, sociology, governance, all those things, if they are, looking into what is the full potential of this. So, what is the full potential of human being is the basic subject matter of human sociology. Human psychology. What is the full potential and how to reach there? Similarly, for sociology, what is the full potential of the relationship and where we can reach as a world family? And for governance, it would be the full potential of the social systems. So articulating all of that in all our subjects, whatever we are teaching, physics, chemistry, maths, etc., everything that we are teaching, it should, value-based education would have the base with those objectives. The subject matter would be taught with that. Okay. Right now it is, you can see what it is, so. And the third one is a natural outcome of value education and value-based education. The guidelines that we have been using have been these 5 guidelines. It has to be holistic, covering all aspects. Actually, it is written twice, all-encompassing and holistic is same. Universal, rational, verifiable, and humane, leading to harmony. So this also must have been repeated many, many times. And the process is self-exploration. We are co-facilitators, we are co-explorers. Okay. So we can reach out to all the students with that view that we are co-explorers. Okay. And it is voluntary. It is something that we are feeling that we have a responsibility towards the society, towards our next generation, towards ourselves. So we are doing this as a part of that responsibility. So if you have any questions this far, we can first discuss that. Any observations or questions? Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Bhaiya.
Yeah, good morning.
You was telling psychology, sociology, and governance.
Yeah, economics and governance.
I haven't heard that governance part. Can you repeat once again? Governance alone?
Yeah, so when you are running in the society social systems, right, you would have some management, some governance structure for it. You will have some systems for governance. You will have some decision rights, like who is going to decide this and who is going to decide that. All that comes in management or governance. So we would need to, that would be subject matter of, how we organize the society. So society has 2 parts. One part is the relationship aspect. Okay. And the ultimate, or you can say the goal of that is undivided human family. Undivided family. And as far as the systems are concerned, orderliness from family order to world family order. And we are calling both of these put together as humane society. Okay. So that's the idea of that. Education has to lead the society in the right direction, rather than follow the society and try to manage in that. Like yesterday Ganeshji was mentioning about the LGBT, right? So that is leading the society or following the society? Following the society, isn't it? But it has to lead the society. What would be the right direction? And make effort to lead it there. And the educational institutions have to be the, we can say, a place where they can experience that kind of society, that kind of humane society. So if educational institutions are living models of a humane society, and the students not only study something, but they also practice it. They are studying technology and somewhat practicing it. But all these other aspects also, if they are able to study and practice it, it will come into their living. Then they will find it easy to go out and contribute to the society in that manner. And that is the basic idea of the minor degree. That we prepare people who have that vision. And slowly it should come into the practice also. Yeah. Any other question? Yes, Geeta ji.
This is a common question. Why it is that bad things spread easily, but good things take time by year?
Yeah, we've been moving in that direction for a long time. So we are deep in there. So it is easy to relate to those things. Because actually it is escapism. I am unhappy. I don't know what is happiness. I don't know how to reach there. So I want to get rid of unhappiness. So I'm trying something. Right? So these quote-unquote bad things are basically escape mechanisms for escaping from unhappiness. And sooner or later they find out that it is not leading to happiness. Isn't it? Then they will try to escape that also. So it's sort of like an escape from unhappiness. It doesn't last for a long time. Okay. And this good things, what you're saying, good things, in the tradition we have been making a lot of effort towards this, towards a humane society. And in that process, a lot of problems have been there, invasions and so many things that have been there. So in the tradition, everywhere in the world, they have considered the world as a family, people as a family. Anywhere, you go to any small place in any part of the world, you will find almost the same sort of welcome. But modernity looks at the world as a marketplace for profit. A very individualistic kind of approach. So yes, that is where we are. So in the tradition, unless we move from believing to knowing, unless we move from assuming to knowing, it cannot be stable. It will keep on fluctuating. And that is what has happened. Okay. So, regardless of what has happened, now what is naturally acceptable to us, and we make effort for it. So we are deep into the trouble area. So it will take time to come out of it. But if each institution makes effort, each team makes that effort and relates to the other teams, to the other people who are around, to the community, it will make a difference. And you can see from the sharing, it was really very encouraging that so much of, you can see shift. Your son, Monish, we were really, it was really nice to hear. So the next generation, if it is taking it up, it is, they can see that it is, but there have been so many movements, the hippie movement, for example, rejecting the present system. They don't know what is the right system, so they tried something. So like that, people will keep trying to reach to their ultimate goal. But if they are not able to reach, then, so that's why, understanding the existence as it is the ultimate, that is the only way. We have to understand the existence and sort of discover our role in that existence. So understand harmony and find out what is my role in that harmony. So that is the only way to reach there, but people have tried many things, so many different systems have been tried out. Socialism, communism, capitalism, dictatorship, everything is, and everything is happening today also. You can see that. Okay. Okay, any other question?
Very one question.
Yeah.
Until the final goal reached in the process. Until the final goal reached, the process will be voluntary based, right? And
see, you can't buy happiness. You can't mandate that, must do this. In the first international conference, there was Ashok Thakur, I think he was the Secretary of Education at that time. He and the Minister Rajul, they had come to the conference. And we were discussing. He said that if we had to do it by order, we would have done it long time back. It cannot happen by order. No. So voluntary basically means that I feel responsible for making a shift, making this happen for myself, for my family, for the larger family. So I've written volunteer there purposely. See, this whole, all of you have come voluntarily. Isn't it? Nobody has mandated. Of course, since the system is like this, we have sent OD letters, or what is that called? OD letters. Because the system doesn't, see the value of all that. Okay, you have been to UHV once, you don't need to go again. Why do you have to go again? So that much support is needed today. Right? But in the tradition, it was going in the direction of, this world family. And of course, it was not perfect. That is why it broke down. Perfect means you have reached from assuming to knowing. So once every child has the right understanding, then it will be stable. And new children who come, they will have a place where they will get, So there is a system. Input is, fresh individuals who are coming in. Okay, there's a system of human education, and then they are exiting from that system in maybe 10 years or something, where they are, developed. So the throughput of this system, if it is, we have certain amount of capacity, and we are feeding too many more, then it will get disturbed anyway. So you have to see, how this whole family system can be organized so that it is resulting in mutual development. That's why at the end of trust we are saying, trust is the foundation for mutual development, a starting point for mutual development. So it's the family that has to be further strengthened, isn't it? And the education system plays a very important role in that. Yes. Good question, Anbarasuji.
Understanding whether the process will be going on once we become pure observer. There also that process will be there inside once we attain that right understanding within ourselves.
See, that process has a completion point. When we discuss about excellence, we say that there is a completion point. That completion point is completeness of right understanding, and second part is purification of the sanskar completely. So that those two things are mentioned as the completeness of right understanding and right feeling. That is a completion point. After that, it is your choice that you have reached there. Now, you'll naturally want to help others to reach there. You'll naturally want other people also to reach there. So if you choose to, you can do that. Otherwise, you have a choice to relax and, you are free that time. Swatantra. That means you are not bounded by any external to yourself. You are not bounded by your body, you are not bounded by the physical facility, you are not bounded by other people, but you feel responsible towards all of them. You feel responsible towards other people, and you feel responsible towards the rest of nature also. You are free. Okay. That's what we are aiming for. And that seed is already there. Your natural acceptance is already there. Yeah. Okay. So, with this view, in the past, at least what I know a little bit, from the 1980s, this effort has been there in education. IIT Delhi, Professor R.R. God, he and his colleagues, they felt that it is very important to bring out the goodness of the student. Although the environment was, we are an engineering institute and we have to prepare engineers. But engineers who are also good human beings, that is what they consider, what they wanted to get to. So they started a course called Science and Humanism as an effort to move in this direction. And slowly Professor God got involved with the values, this universal human values. And the first book, first edition of the textbook was co-authored by Professor God. And he tried to work on that in the system. The IIT system was such that, it is what it is, okay. And then various other institutions were approached. And before that, 2001, MHRD established this National Resource Center in Value Education at IIT Delhi. Okay. And two other places. IIT Delhi Center is still active, working on various things. At that time, these guidelines were framed. The guidelines that I showed you before, they were framed and then refined like that. So it was a contribution from that side. In 2005, IIIT Hyderabad, one of the colleagues of Ganeshji, senior colleague of Ganeshji, was the director over there. in IIIT Hyderabad, Professor Rajiv Sangal. He invited Ganeshji for to give a lecture. So Ganeshji said he came after 1.5 years of, pursuance. And Ganeshji said that I'm here and we'll have a workshop. So how much time? 8 days. So now he is in trouble, where to find people for 8 days. So in the first workshop, that was in 2004, I think. In the first workshop, there were 7 participants. Only 7 participants. And who are these participants? The director's wife, their 2 daughters, 4 of them, and 3 others, faculty members and students. That's it. So from there, they were able to see that it is very significant what is being discussed. So they worked on it with this. They were having at that time an intake of about 180 students. So they worked on, at that time there was no book, or it was, so there were, I think, 4 boards, and on the top there were charts. Charts were put later on, but 4 boards, blank boards. Okay, I can show you the photographs of those boards. Very interesting. Okay, so you can imagine that when you start out aspiration of human being, happiness and prosperity in continuity. Then how to fulfill this? How to fulfill this? Right understanding, relationship and physical facility. So that would appear on the board, in those circles. Okay. Then what is the scope of human living?
4 levels. Understanding and harmony.
4 levels. That time it was 6 levels. Okay. So you have 6 levels is a little bit difficult to, so we said 4 levels. Okay, 4 levels. Okay. So that will come on the board. Then you have to understand harmony at these 4 levels. So then you have, this is 0. Then you have 1. 1 is harmony in the human being. Then half that board will get filled up with harmony in the human being. Human being is coexistence of self and body. Right? Then you do some exercise about need of the human being, fulfillment of the need, list of desires, all that. So that you can do. And that was done. 8-day workshop, you can do all that. Residential. So like that, these 4 boards would get filled up. Okay. And no rubbing. And it's like amazing, this suddenly some beautiful picture has emerged. People kept wondering, I kept wondering, first workshop that I went to, what will happen next? I mean, this much has been discussed. What will you discuss about relationship? What will you discuss about society? What will you discuss about nature? That chart, that chart is there about the natural characteristic, and that chart is there about nature, right?
Nameless.
So once that appeared, it was like, my goodness, it is so amazing. And like that, it became a full picture. And I used to imagine that if we did this in a planetarium, how nice it would be. Everybody is sitting and exploring, and then you can see the whole universe appearing in front of you. And you are a part of that universe, and you are responsible for developing yourself and then contributing to this. And you are significant. Although you are a very small unit, you are significant in that. So that beautiful picture would emerge, and a lot of discussion would happen. So then they put it as a 2 semesters. They put the content in 2 semesters, and they did a lot of work in that. And the book emerged out of the next one. Professor, I'm forgetting his name. I am bad at names actually. He was my professor in Professor Prem Rath. He was a professor at IIT Delhi, and he became the Vice Chancellor of this UP Technical University. Now it is called AKTU. It is called AKTU, Abdul Kalam Technical University. So he was the Vice Chancellor, and then Ganeshi and others, they talked to him about, Professor God was key in that, talked to him about, by the way, during this IIIT Hyderabad experiment, the then President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was the Chancellor of that university, and he took a lot of interest. Okay. And Ganeshi and others, they had several meetings. Later on only I happened to meet a couple of times. He would give 20 minutes and then he would spend 3 hours. He was very curious and he was very, very supportive. In fact, in 2006, this Independence Day, before the Independence Day, there is this presidential address. Republic Day. Yeah, Republic Day. No, it was Independence Day, I think. Pre-Independence Day speech, I think it was. We can check that. So out of the 30-minute speech, 3.5 minutes were on this possibility. And he said that this is something that can, make a difference in the social fabric of the nation and the whole world, actually. So in 2009, Professor Prem Rath was the Vice Chancellor. So when Ganeshi and all went to talk to him, at that time they had 550 colleges. So they went with the proposal that this is something that we can try out, and can you tell us 10 colleges where we can start this? So he said, this is a good thing, why don't you start it in all the colleges? So that time the first edition of the book was written. It was a transcript of the workshop at IIIT, and then it was converted into a book. So the first edition was written by Ganeshi and Professor God and Professor Rajiv Sankar. The 3 of them, they got together and wrote that book. And Kumar Sambhav and others, they were at that time involved in doing the drafting and all that, So, so that book was prepared, and by 2009, that late in 2009, that book came out in print. Then it was how to prepare the teachers. And you should see the video of the first 2 workshops. First 4 to 5 days were on why do we need this? Why are you telling us? And what can we do? Because in the private institutions, they are, like for profit and all that, So you should tell those guys first. So like that, it came into UP Technical University. Okay. And then all these other institutions followed. Punjab Technical University, Professor Rajiv Sangal, Professor Rajneesh Arora, He was the vice chancellor of that university. And he was on the board of IIT Delhi, board of governors of IIT Delhi. And in that board, this presentation was made that, there is this work that has been done by Professor God. He was presenting that. So he said, it is already some paki pakai khichdi hai. Paki pakai kheer actually, he used to say, paki pakai kheer. So it is already ready, so we can see if we can use it. So then he started, with, and in that case, in PTU, they first prepared their directors, principals, and then the teachers. So they did that, and in Punjab Technical University, a lot of work was done. One of the conferences that was held in 2014, they decided that we'll have a international center, resource center for universal human values. Long name it has. International Resource Center for Human Values, Universal Human Values and Ethics. So we just used to call it IRC. So Punjab Technical University. Then in the first conference that we had, we invited Dr. Pema Thinle, Dasho Pema Thinle. Dasho is like a Padma Shri in Bhutan. So he, after many rounds, he decided, okay, I'll come and talk about gross national happiness. We wanted to understand, when you go to implement this world family, what are people doing today and how that can happen today. So he finally came and he talked about gross national happiness. And then you should see his description of, how he was able to see that this content makes sense. He heard all the things during the conference, but when he was going back in the flight, we had given him several books, so he had to go back and pay that extra whatever they have to pay in the for extra luggage. So in that context, he met Ganeshji. He was also in a normally Ganeshji travels by train only, but that time I think that was the first time he went by flight. Some emergency was there, so he was going by that. So he met Ganeshji, and then through that interaction, he was able to get a good idea that this is. And then later on, he said, of course, that I've been looking for this for the last so many years, and now I'm able to see that this can work. In my country, it can work. And that's where we met Umeshji first time. It was 2012, September, July. July, Bhanuji and I had come, and then September, Ganeshji came. Isn't it? Yeah. So the family has grown from few people to more people, like that. Okay. And then from there it went to Himachal Pradesh Technical University, then Bikaner Technical University. So many universities, about 40 universities took up this universal human values through the efforts of the few people who were there at that time. Then in 2017, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, he became chairman of the All India Council for Technical Education. And then from there it went, one more level to the national level. And 2017, we were doing these face-to-face workshops only. Then 2020 came. And in 2020, COVID came. So then on, I think it was 31st March of 2020, that we got a call from Professor Sahasrabuddhe. And he said, what you are doing is very important. It is making a difference in the education and it is COVID time. So why don't you do something? Can you do something online? Can you reach out? So then we started this online activity. Okay. And many of you, how many of you have first time you came through online mode? Oh my God. most of you are online.
Only 4 UHV is online there. Only UHV 3 only here.
So in the initial part, online was, people listened to it very attentively, because COVID is happening, what do to, we are in trouble, and it was Usha Kumari, where is she?
There last row.
She used to ask a lot of questions.
So many doubts.
So many doubts. Yeah.
I was quarantined in that time. Spend that time I registered.
So I have to do
So the first workshop when we did, Sahasrabudheji said, it's important, when can you start? And we just said, tomorrow. We had no idea how to do it. Not no idea, we had very little idea. Then we said, you won't be able to collect all the people, so at least give them one more day. So we started on 2nd April of 2020, 2 days. And those 2 days, we had to prepare how to do this. How to do this. Presentation we can do, but then attendance and certification and polls and none of those things we knew. So we spent some sleepless 2 nights, and after that we had so many issues also, but we worked on it and started on 2nd April. So that's how we started that online thing. And online, a lot of people could attend. A lot more people could attend. And we are now using the online mode more for connecting to each other. Workshop number has reduced, because now more of you are prepared, so you can run those workshops. So AICT enabled this national reach. AICT formed these 2 national committees. One is called National Committee for Universal Human Values. Its role is to develop the content and the process for reaching out to the, so it's a back-end work, you can say. Professor H.D. Charan is the chairman of that NCUHV. And then they formed this NCCIP, National Coordination, what is it called?
Committee.
For induction program. Okay, so it was, UHV was first put as a part of the induction program. So it is still called NCCIP. And there the idea was to coordinate the implementation. To coordinate the implementation in the whole nation and coordinate the induction program. But the core of that induction program is the UHV and health and IKS and all that. So the induction program has very rich content. And we did one, Umeshji would remember that ESIP. I would encourage you to see the ESIP module on connecting to the local area. He did one, Umeshji did a piece on Ajanta Ellora. It was very informative and it was really, nice, So you can see that sometime. Okay. So when children come, they should get a view of how life can be. What is the institution doing to reach there? So it had 9 different modules and all that. So NCCIP was responsible for implementing that. And then UHV 2 was added in 2017 itself, but 2019 it became, more sort of mandatory. It was put in the model curriculum. In 2017 itself it was put, but it was refined and teacher preparation started in earnest in 2019. And it has been going on since then. You are more familiar with that, with the work that is happening in the different regions. So there's a very cohesive implementation team, the regional coordinators. Is there anything? Yeah. And you are all familiar with, 23 onwards. I would encourage you to read this document. It has the vision about the implementation, about the rationale as well as the implementation. Okay. You can download it from AICTE, this site, or you can also download it from the uhv.org.in site. So you can see that. Translation, Sunil Kumarji is the lead volunteer for that. So he gave a presentation also. So AICTE is focused on helping to promote this, advocate this. Okay. So they have been very, very helpful in this. Then in 2016, although the work started long time back, but in 2016, the Raja Anand Sansthan at Madhya Pradesh, they had various programs, and then they added this UHV program in, I think 2020 or, no, it was after 2020, 21 or something like that. Although RAS was formed in 2016, formally, it is a department of the government of Madhya Pradesh, happiness department. Okay, so they have various programs, and 3 programs are based on universal human values. Okay, so this Anand Sabha, it's in Hindi, so I'll just read it. Anand Sabha program is for schools. So a team of, I think it was 30 people, with Upasana ji as the lead volunteer for that, guide for that, with Bhanuji. Bhanuji was guiding that. So they made the textbooks and they made the workbooks, all that they did. And this Anand Sabha was launched in 2023 with I think it was few schools, it was 100, so I don't remember the number, but few schools. And today that has gone to 2,000 schools. And today this Anand Sabha is, this content is going to Rajasthan. The Minister Education of Rajasthan, one Mr. Shri Dilawarji, is very keen to put this, so he's putting it in all the model schools. So there's a whole team for making that happen. And then they are working on Anand Gram program for villages. So in all the 52 districts, they have identified 2 villages in each district and to experiment with this. And then there is this program called Anand Ki Or, towards happiness, towards bliss actually. Anand means bliss. So they are making effort for, reaching out to the lay public. Then in Bhutan, since 2012, this has been going on in the various colleges of the Royal University of Bhutan and also in their medical university. Okay. But Bhutan Institute of Well-Being is a rehabilitation center of the Youth Development Fund of Bhutan, YDF. So they started integrating universal human values into their rehabilitation program. They started that in 2018. And by 2024, their success rate, which was around 40% or 43%, it has now become 63%. Because not only are they focusing on the body, now they are focusing more significantly on the self. So it's a 4-month rehabilitation program for drug addicts and drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And they have very good feedback. But they also took the responsibility as an institution to reach out to all the population in Bhutan, all the people who are there. So they have run workshops for school principals, for this WHO and so many other organizations within who are working in Bhutan. So they are running this program, they call it GNH Journey. And the GNH journey is from assuming to knowing. So all that, they call it the GNH journey, and they have been running short programs on that. And they have become very active. We were surprised last year when we went there. We were very happy to note that they have been working steadily over the last so many years. We didn't even know that, but they have been working on that. And this month only we had gone for workshops for their schools. Very good uptake on that. Now coming to where we can go, we have a lot of volunteers. Number I keep putting as 500 in higher education and 200 in the school education. Maybe there are more or less. I think we have a good idea that it is around 500. It is organized in a well-knit network, and I've just got an estimate, I think 60 plus meetings. How many meetings do you have in SR and SWR every week?
Translation team.
SR conducts 5 meetings. Demo, translation, self-development, team development, society development. SWR conducts self-development, team development, Malayalam meeting, and the self-development combined meeting, and the translation meeting. 5. So 5 in both the meetings. Minimum. And into 8, 5 into 8, 40. Then you have different projects, different activities, FDP meeting, this and all those meetings. Lots of meetings, lots of interaction. What are you doing in that? In those meetings? A lot of interaction is there, right?
We are revisiting the contents.
You are revisiting the content, you are working with each other with a feeling of relationship. Whenever there is some bumps, then you discuss, you sort it out. So all that is happening together, right? So it is not only to understand ourselves, but also to contribute to the team and to the society. So all that is happening. All of it is online, or most of it is online. Okay. Most of the meetings are online, isn't it?
All the things are online.
Yeah. Right? So we are making use of that technology for all of that. And now we have these 27 nodal centers and 44 potential nodal centers across the nation, in addition to these other organizations, AICTE, UGC, and all these. The volunteers feel the responsibility, so they are offering their what they have understood through all these organizations to the where it has to reach, isn't it? So now we have to nurture these nodal centers and potential nodal centers. Develop the depth in them, set them up. I mean, we can help them to move towards this living model of humane society. Margdarshak. There is a role of Margdarshak, isn't it? So you have to do that. Right? So the number one priority, as far as I can see, is to develop the depth in these institutions that have been identified, and any other institution which is willing to go in that direction sincerely, steadily, all that. Second thing is to do the width. Width means reaching out to the other institutions. And ultimately, the idea is to reach out to every household. And that is where the local language is important. So these nodal centers are potential for doing what AICTE, RAS, BIW, the families that have taken responsibility, they are doing. Okay. I was mentioning in the beginning, two people whose families are making a lot of effort. Every family can make that kind of effort. Gopal Babuji, he used to live in a building which had 12 flats. So he communicated, they started talking about this in their building. So they became a 12 family, bigger family. So you can start somewhere. Bhanuji started working on the workshops, conducting the workshops at his home, like Ganeshi was mentioning. He started at home. Okay. So like that, every home can be a, nodal center, right? So if we see today, we are having effort in school education, in higher education, in counseling, in villages, rehab centers, and in jails, and other places also, maybe in old age homes or other places also. Okay. And if you see the numbers, there are, quite good numbers. So now we have to consolidate. We have to work on developing the depth ourselves, understand the content in more detail, develop the feeling of relationship, and then strengthen the team, and then we can, lot of demand is there, isn't it? The need is there, demand is there. Okay. And I've written some names here of some of the senior people, but each one of you can be one of those. Through Dashu Tinle, it has reached to the Parliament of Bhutan. Through Supraja ji, it has reached to all of SRM. One person, no? She has been insisting, please listen to what we have to say. Then all Shanmukh Priyaji and all the team members, they would go to sit with the dean, share their story. Right? So like that, it is one person. In Kerala, I would say Priya CVG and Jayaprakash ji, Sunil Kumar ji. They have really taken it up, that this is my responsibility. Sharad Bhaiya. He is a quiet, he is in the background and is very, very passionate about this. Yes. One person, then few people, then lot of people. Right? Common goal. And making effort voluntarily. My responsibility. This is my work. I'm not doing it for somebody else. I'm doing it because I feel responsible for it. Right? We can talk about many things. We won't go into all these details. But we do have a framework for holistic value-based education. A lot of work is being done on content development, on faculty development, on RP development, on the courses for the students, on volunteer and team development. And we are trying to get impact properly documented, impact studies. Those of you who like to write papers, you should think about writing papers on UHV. Okay. It should reach this print media and the media through the papers, academic papers. Okay. Then there's a strong coordination network to reach out to all the institutions and then beyond the institutions. Nodal centers. This part I'll talk about a little bit more. Much needed media and communication. Doing some conferences, meetings like this, international conference, all that. Then at the background, this technical support is there. Extension efforts are there in schools, in jails, in other places outside the education, quote-unquote, education system. So far what we can see is that there is a need for human values. Okay. In the surveys we keep running, is it the problems that we see around us, are they more due to lack of skills or lack of values? What is your answer? Lack of values. Okay. Are we working on values in education or we are working more on skills? More on skills. So at least this team is able to see that, that it is more due to lack of values and we need to work on it and we can work on it. So that's what I've written here, that UHV is a comprehensive content and process to fill this need. And there's a strong volunteer team that has demonstrated that it can be implemented effectively on a large scale. So you have been able to implement it on a large scale. If you see any of the institutions in SR or SWR, you can see that we can implement it. It is effective. It is meaningful. So we can quite confidently say that universal human values is no longer a pilot concept and it is effective. We can do it, okay, and we are willing to help others, isn't it? So in the keynote, Ganeshji had mentioned about the self-development, team development, and societal development. So we can see that when we are working in the self, we are working on self-development. Understanding, having that feeling of relationship, okay? Having a vision for the human education, all that is self-development. Team development is at the level of human-human interaction, human-human behavior. Okay? So that is team development. And with these two, we can work on the participation in the larger order. Okay? And that is societal development. And this societal development is essentially through projects and activities. So when you are doing FDP planning, where is it? FDP. If you are attending the program, it is self-development. Societal development, right? So like that, some activities are there. What are the projects doing? The projects are building the base for you to take the material out. So I'll mention that again. So if you see the program, what we are doing, one is some courses for students, and for faculty development there are some FDPs. Okay. These are at the proactive stage. Okay. I've written over here that when aspirations dominate, where we want to reach is what we are working on. And problems are minimal. We are not focusing on the problems. So in that stage, for children who are growing up, they are interested in finding out how I can fulfill my basic aspiration. So for that, we have several courses. In the student induction program, UHV 1, HHH 1, and following that, a faculty mentorship program and student buddy program. Okay. Most of the colleges over here probably are doing UHV 1 as a part of the induction program, and these are to be added whenever it is possible to do that. Okay. And then the mandatory UHV 2 program, and then minor degree. Okay. These can be done proactively, part of the curriculum. And for making this happen, the faculty has to be prepared. So the faculty development is a very important foundation for this to actually happen effectively. When distress, ragging, anxiety and all these things appear and they become more prominent, then what do? You can't ask them to go back to UHV 1 and all that. So what do? So today we have anti-ragging cells, helplines, all these things we have. Okay. What we can do in this stage, when children are reaching this stage, is all of this what I've written, from ragging to red carpet. If we do the mentoring effectively, then we won't need to go here. And in counseling, UHV aligned counseling, okay. UHV based counseling. That means counseling which is focusing on the self and the body, not just the body. And in the post, I put post-active as, when the crisis has become acute, then what do you do? Okay. When you have cases of suicides and things like that, what do you do? Okay. If you have not done the first two things, then you will certainly reach the third place. Okay. So all these things are being done, and if we do the first two things, there will be no need to go here. Okay. So now we have identified several projects and activities as the focal things for 2026. Okay. This is a draft actually. This is not fully discussed yet, but we'll keep on refining. We keep on refining depending on what opportunities come up and where more attention needs to be paid. Okay. So now I've listed them in no specific order, but they are. So first, the activities. RP development is a very important activity which Kumarji, Umeshji, Bhanuji, they are working on this, leading these activities. So how many of you are developing as RPs or PRPs? How many want to develop as RPs and PRPs? Want to and are working on it. Of course, when you want to, you have to work on it. So why don't you come in front? Let's take a picture of the RP, all the people who are working on RP development for themselves or for others. Come in front. Come. Only 5 minutes left. Okay, we'll close it there. Want to also come? Okay, let's take a picture of all those who want to and are working on it. इसको बंद कर देते हैं. No, wait a minute. Turn it off. Come. Take a picture. Some of you can kneel or sit, Monish, why are you over there? Dinesh, why are you over there? Okay. Come in front. Yeah. Come closer. Come. Yeah, let's give ourselves a big hand, So, Messi, we have our work cut out for. So that is one thing. Another activity is
1 year schedule.
I'll read it out from here. You can leave it over there. Leave it. I mean, you switch it off. I'll read it out from here. UHV implementation at the national level. That is National Connect. That is the lead volunteers. There are Jitendra Narula, Jitu and Umeshji. So how many of you are coordinating in this? part of the national. So maybe we'll take photograph this way only.
Because of the courage, we will be there.
What happened here?
Switch on.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I will make it up.
Yeah. So let's take one photograph this way also. These are the two major things, you know. One is developing ourselves and developing, coordinating, making it happen. Okay. But let me read out all the other activities and projects. Third one is International Conference and International Connect. Dr. Ila Dedia and Ishrat Ji, they are the lead volunteers for that. And many of you are participating in the international workshop, isn't it? How many of you are there? Just raise your hands. Yeah, it's a very good number. Then volunteer development, that is part of the the National Connect, but volunteer development, how many of you are participating in that? Development of volunteers. Developing volunteers, development of volunteers. And in volunteer development, Kumar Sambhav and Umesh Ji, they are the key people in that, the lead volunteers in that. Or then next is technical support. That is Anil Rathore and Akash Mishra. How many of you are participating in the technical team? We need people in technical team. Okay. Then media and communication. In the newsletter, we need people to write. So how many of you can participate in the media and communication team? Yes, I got your name and Dinesh, right? Can you write it down? Who is writing it down? And Siddhika Ji. So write it down, 4 names. Okay. Then UHV in school education. How many of you are working on it or interested to work in it?
Interested. We are working from our school we have started. So I have.
Very nice. So, where is Shanmukh Priya Ji? Yeah, write down the names of all of you.
I'd say that it's
Take a photo also, simpler. Take photo with the raised hands. And then, yeah. School education. Very nice. Then coming to projects. First project I've written here is holistic human health. Sharmila ji was to talk about this, but no clock, and I'm just going on and on. I thought I'll be brief. Yes, you want to say something? Where is Miru? Where is Miru Nalini ji? Okay. Holistic health. Yeah. Triple H. All others will be customers. Okay. Translation. Sunil Kumar ji already mentioned, but let's get translation. Translation and putting it in regional language or local language is very important, because otherwise we won't be able to reach out to the staff and to the household, each household. Then morning session casebook. We have to document that self-exploration is a means of, or is a way in which we can understand It is not only through the body that we understand, it is through the self that we understand. So how many are working on morning session case book?
Bhaiya, what is that, Bhaiya? Case book means?
The case book is taking the sharings, identifying their key achievements and the way in which they achieved that. So we have to establish self-exploration as a valid means of inquiry. And also establish that UHV or the self is the main, central to human existence. That we have to establish that. Okay. How many are there? I know 1, 2, at least 2 are there. Okay. See, each institution must do an impact study and gather feedback which has all these components. One component is what content I am paying attention to, how I got to understand that process, and then what is the outcome in my living. These 3 things must be there in that. Okay. Then minor degree course preparation, and this is Kumar Sambhav and Gopal Babuji with guidance from Ganeshji. So those of you who want to work further on the minor degree, how many are there? Minor degree?
Bhaiya, can you put some light on minor degree?
Yeah, the time has already run out, I think. What is the time? It's already.
1 or 2 lines, Bhaiya.
Yeah, 1 or 2 lines. Minor degree has got these 8 courses, UHV. So in the minor degree, first we are looking into the self. Okay. UHV 3 is about self. UHV, both ends, end of realization and end of human society. So UHV 3 is looking into the self. Then UHV 4 is looking into the human society. Okay. Then UHV 5 is looking into the philosophies and drawing out the human values from that. When you do that, you find that all the philosophies are trying to do the same thing. They are only fighting about the words.
The essence is same.
Essence is same, because existence is same, purpose is same, isn't it? So UHV 5 is drawing out the essence, which is talking about human values in through different philosophies, right? Then UHV 6 is about the full human potential, full potential of the self, how to achieve that. That is human psychology, right? So when we conducted that program, we are able to see that presently most of the work in psychology is taking place I'm saying most, not all, is taking place about studying the existing society and try to draw some conclusions from that. It is not talking about what is the full potential of the human society, of the human psyche, of the self. There is confusion about the self itself. So human sociology is about drawing out what is the full potential of the human self and connecting it to what is being studied today, so that we can bridge from there to where we want to reach. What is the complementarity? You can see that. So moving from wherever we are to the full potential. Then UHV 7 has 2 parts. One is HHH2, Holistic Human Health 2, and the second one is human sociology. That means what is the full potential of human-human relationship. Okay, and you can feel it in the team. I can feel it in the team. Very encouraging. Okay. So we are moving towards that full potential. What is the full scope of that full potential and how we can achieve that, number one. And two, what is the way in which it is presented today and how we can, make right utilization, how we can be complementary to the studies that are being made today. So that is UHV 7. And UHV 8 is about human economics or economics and governance. Okay. That is about the systems in the society, and economics is a major system, so it is put like that. So sociology, human sociology is about the people connect, and then the economics is about the human rest of nature relationship, basically talking about the systems in society. Okay. And what is the full potential of these systems? So for example, the justice system, what is the full potential of the justice system? How do you go about it? What are we talking about today? And how do we move from where we are today to where we want to reach? So all the systems in society that have been discussed in UHV 4 will be expanded in that, the systems. Okay. So with this, all these courses, all this exploration, one would have a vision for humane, for themselves and for human society. And then they can contribute as teachers, as guides, and so on. Okay.
In any of the colleges, they implement all the minority.
You are sitting in one college, in one university.
Actually, whether I'm asking, is it possible to introduce this in the engineering colleges?
Yeah, this is engineering college only.
As a credit course?
Yes. Minor degree is.
How can we implement that? What are things?
Just like your
Any circular for the
circular is not there, this one, but in the other circulars, if minor degree is not mentioned, in the next circular we can mention it. Now we are more ready for it, prepared for it. But this institution has taken the lead in that, to.
It is in science and humanities.
Hmm?
Not in engineering. But we don't have.
Somewhere you have implemented 50, 60 students have taken it up.
Yeah, we don't have arts and science college there. We have only engineering.
You can put it in engineering also.
Oh, fine.
COE today,
Yeah.
engineering institute.
Yeah. So it has minor degree. And there will be other institutions. I don't know all the institutions that have implemented, but they are implementing. Because it is the need is there. And when you go through UHV 6 and UHV 7, you will see why we are stuck in where we are. And you'll have motivation to move to where we want to reach, more motivation. I think motivation is there, isn't it? Okay. And then the last one is UHV model for counseling. ऑन कर सकते हैं उसको. Just once is good. Yeah, counseling. Yeah, so have you taken counseling? Yeah, you want to talk about little 5 minutes counseling? Health and counseling. Sharmila ji is the guide for the counseling, and Sharmila ji and Manishi ji.
I want to project that.
And it's okay, we should project it. How do you go about
briefly, I can just talk about little bit about health and counseling. Actually, health we started first. In fact,
Alt control, Alt P.
It started just as something that we need to do in health, because again for health also there is a definite need. Today we can see a lot of issues, health issues, and for many of these, we are not getting answers through the current health system or what we call medical system, especially the most prevalent, the allopathic system. A lot of times we don't get answers to the questions that we have about health. And many a times the medications that are being prescribed have to be taken lifelong. So rather than health, it seems to be almost that we are managing diseases rather than focusing on health.
Slideshow.
So with all of those, seeing that the need was there, at some point we felt that we should work on this. And if you look at our traditional systems in Ayurveda, there is a lot more holistic approach. In our traditional systems, we can see that there is, one is that it is considering not just the human body, but they are also referring to the mind, or in some way you can say the self. And there is also, the vision encompasses the interaction with nature also. How the environment impacts the human health. So with studying of that and studying of how we can go forward with guidance from Ganeshji, so 3 of us were working on holistic health, and it has taken several years for us to work it out, to see how we can incorporate with the UHV as the base or the foundation, how we can look at health. So when we are talking of value-based education, so this you can see as an example how we could bring it in when we look at health also from that perspective, from a human values perspective. So two of the other doctors, Dr. Sundaraj, who is in Visakhapatnam, and Dr. Akhilesh Shukla, who is currently in Goa, and we kind of worked on this and brought out the book on holistic health. That also took a lot of time, lot of writing and rewriting and editing and all of that, like most works do. Eventually that came out, and then came the PPTs and the HHH1 Holistic Human Health 1 course. The workshop again was done here in SRM, and then again 2 workshops have been done in SRM, and then the third one is scheduled for later this year. So with that, last year there was also this, I would say, something associated quite closely with health, which is the counseling part. So for counseling, currently, as Rajul ji mentioned, a lot of times we are working on the problems. When things don't go right, when students are having issues, in today's very hectic and fast lifestyle, with all the, although on the outside there is a lot of closeness, you could say, or gatherings, but on the inside, many of the students are facing issues of isolation. crisis situations, situations of mental depression, what we call bipolar disorder, that what you refer to as the sine wave, mania and depression, that unfortunately has become a reality for many students. So for all of these, currently the counseling that takes place, it is mostly focused on change in behavior and change at the thought level, or at most the feeling level. So the conditioning or the sanskars, they may not be addressed. And also further, there is no absolute benchmark with which we can say, how the student can check for himself or herself. Right now, when a student is in that position, or a person is in that position, you have to kind of rely on the counselor to guide you. But in these cases, the counselor's bias is not taken into consideration. The sanskar of the counselor comes into it. So you can see how you need something absolute, something that is universal. And that's why this counseling approach is based on our own natural acceptance. So that eventually we want the students not just to become dependent on the counselor, but to start taking guidance from their own natural acceptance. So for that, we have a team that we have gotten together for counseling. So the team has come up with a model for counseling, which has a UHV foundation. So there are 10 steps. It's called Holistic Value-Based Counseling, HVC. And these 10 steps are based on how we could proceed from a person who is in a misguided state, who is perhaps not very stable in the self, how we can go from that to guiding the person to start referring to their own natural acceptance and ultimately moving forward, as we are trying to do in the morning sessions. So in the morning sessions, we are working on exercise 1 and 2, where exercise 1 is the focus for the self, and exercise 2, with the self, we are also focusing on the body. So in this counseling model, we are using some of those steps, plus the foundation of the UHV base. And with that, right now it's in a very nascent stage. So all these things take time. Last year is the first time that we put together this model, and it was presented in the conference last time. How many of you were able to attend that session in the conference? Anybody? Okay. So maybe we can hear from you what were your thoughts on that model, because in fact we want to refine that model as we go, so that the more and more inputs we gather from those who listen to it, and what were your thoughts, and if you felt there were some loopholes that can be fixed, that's what we were looking for. That was part of the reason for presenting it as a model. And now we are in the process of trying to apply this model to actual student conditions where people are having difficulties in day-to-day living. How we can use this model to see if we can help them come out of this and for them to become self-referential. So the process is just starting, and it will probably take a couple of years to really establish that it is useful, it is making sense, it is helpful. And once that is proven, then we can go forward, just like with the UHV, we have gone forward, or with the health, we have been able to go a little forward. So that's what I wanted to share. You have something more?
We have gone over the time,
Yes.
so I think we can stop here. So nice, all the best. We'll be leaving at 4:30, so we thought we'll overstep the boundary of the time a little bit. But thank you for your attention and all the best. Namaste.
Thank you, Bhaiya. And thank you, Didi, for giving the details about the projects and various activities which is happening in the UHV. And let us break for 15 minutes, 20 minutes.